Tonight, I'm going to show you something even rarer than Bigfoot. And that is a millennial with cash in his pocket. I'm going to explain what this means shortly, but I just want you to think about one thing. What is this money worth to you? Imagine about this time last year, most of you were tuned into your television sets, watching as the Kansas City Chiefs duked it out with the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 58. It was a high-octane match for several reasons. It was a grudge match, a rematch between the two teams. And superstar Taylor Swift had just started dating the tight end Travis Kelce. And for that reason, Super Bowl 58 became the most watched Super Bowl in American history with 123.4 million viewers. This was second only to perhaps the Apollo 11 moon landing, during which 125 to 150 million Americans tuned in to watch. Now, if you're under the age of 40 here in the audience this evening, you know exactly who this is. But if you don't feel bad. This here is Jimmy Donaldson, aka famous YouTuber Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast's most watched video has 678 million views. Do you understand? You understand that? 4.5 times more people have watched this video than watched a man land on the moon. 337 million people subscribe to his channel. He has 67 billion lifetime views. In fact, in the month of November 2024 alone, he gained 3.13 billion viewers. In other words, that's like saying 49% of the world's population tuned in to watch something on this man's YouTube channel. This man has a line of candy bars that you can go buy in the checkout line at Walmart. That is the influence that this man has had, one man, through a YouTube channel. Now, we're never going to replicate that kind of success. The success of his channel is built on clickbait and on niche content and lots of money giveaways. But think about this. If we could capture just a fraction of the people who view videos on YouTube and on social media, what could we accomplish in spreading the gospel and winning souls to the Lord? Now, the fact is that social media is the most revolutionary change in communication since the printing press. And I want to share just a few statistics that prove what you already know. First of all, that over 60% of all American adults use Facebook and YouTube. We all knew that. Everybody uses Facebook and YouTube. But what's interesting is when you look at all the different social media platforms, there's a great disparity between age groups. Not all age groups are using the same platforms. Mostly old people are using YouTube and Facebook. People over the age of 50. But it becomes very interesting when you zoom in on ages 18 to 30, and you find many of them use apps perhaps you've never looked at. You may have never even heard of. They're using apps like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. And this becomes even more pronounced when you start to look at teenagers, ages 13 to 17. Over 90% of teenagers use YouTube. 63% look at TikTok. 61% look at Instagram. Now, one thing we're going to notice is that these apps have a specific focus on videos and static image media. They're not reading text posts. They're looking at videos and images. And this is quite incredible. This data right here, over half of all teenagers are using these apps every day. The YouTube one is very interesting to me. Nearly 75% of teenagers use the app every single day. Nearly 2/3 of teens who've made a friend online say they met new friends on a social media platform. Now I want you to think about this. 2/3 of teenagers are making friends and connections online. In fact, teenagers view these online friendships as just as meaningful as ones they've made in real life. I'll give you an example. My cousin has people that he plays video games with online every week. He spends hours playing games with people he has never met in person, and yet he considers them close friends. At least one of them invited my cousin to be a groomsman in his wedding. And the first time they met in person was when he flew out there for the wedding. My cousin has invited friends he's made online to move to Arkansas, move into his house, and come to church with him. And what's amazing is it's not just my cousin. I know countless young people who would share the exact same story with you. Think about that. Young people are making connections through social media. We need to be taking advantage of this. And in order to take advantage of it, we need to know something about social media. I want to explain a little bit about the different platforms because I understand it can be very overwhelming, especially if you're just not tuned into it like maybe young people are. So let's run through some of these different social media platforms. The first one's Facebook. Everybody uses Facebook, so I don't feel much need to explain here. But the point of Facebook is that you follow people you know in real life, right? You have a friend list of people who you have met before. And that's who you're looking at when you scroll through Facebook. Maybe you also follow businesses that you like in your local area. I know many people will look up businesses on Facebook before they ever go in person. They may not visit a business if they can't find a Facebook page about it. So, we need to be on Facebook. We need to have a church page that people can find our address, our assembly times, and can find information about how to contact us. Instagram is a little bit like Facebook, but it has a specific focus on media. You notice it's all about pictures, it's about photography, it's about videos. But I'm still following my friends, or I'm following accounts of things that I'm interested in, hobbies like people who hike, people who take nature photography. That's what you would see if you looked at my Instagram account. Again, very friend-oriented. This is Twitter, also known as X. And the point of X, or Twitter, is to follow people who influence you. Mostly you're not following friends. You may follow people who are celebrities. In fact, we saw this used to great effect during President Trump's campaign. Let me tell you how President Trump won the presidency. It was because of Twitter. Because I'll tell you one thing, he didn't have anybody running his social media account. You knew that when a tweet came out, you knew he is the one who made it. And people were talking about, did you see what the president tweeted? That's the power of this social media platform. And so people are frequently following others that influence them, celebrities and so forth. This platform has an emphasis on shorter content. You have a word limit. You can only type so much, and so you have to think about what you're going to say. Now, TikTok, this is a big one for young people, and its focus is almost exclusively short form video. In fact, you will find that most young people, when they come home from a hard day of going to school or work, they are not kicking back on the couch to watch cable television. They're not even laying back to watch Netflix or other streaming services like people might do. They are sitting on the couch with their phone, watching TikTok. It's where they go to be entertained. They just like watching a lot of short videos rather than sitting and watching a longer television program. Discord's a more obscure one, but if you've heard of Discord, just know it's not anything that's bad. This is kind of like your own private chat room where you and your friends can hang out. You can send each other messages. You can talk through video or audio, and you can play games together. And usually Discord focuses more on specific interests like games. And then Snapchat. Snapchat is about sending pictures to your friends. Just everyday life, things going on, and the pictures are not saved. They disappear after a certain amount of time. And it's one that many young people use. Instead of texting each other, they're sending personal messages through Snapchat. There's all sorts of different kinds of platforms, and I've only just scratched the surface here. There are platforms for just about anything, any interest, any use that you may be interested in. And I understand it can feel overwhelming if you haven't been born into this world like young people have. They seem to navigate it just almost naturally. I would suggest that we're in need of translators in our congregations. We need people who can translate what is going on social media and who can translate the gospel message so that we can get it on these platforms. And you know who these translators are. They're the young people who are sitting right there, who are dying for something to do, some way that they can contribute to the work of the church. Let's make good use of them. Go recruit some young people in your congregation to help you understand how to navigate social media and to help you produce content for it. Let's talk about some of those kinds of content. How can we harness social media for the gospel? Because that's what it's all about, right? We're not about getting the most amount of viewers of all time. We're not about making tons of money. We want to save souls. We want people to go to heaven. And there are ways we can use social media for that purpose. I want to talk about 3 different ways that we can use social media. First, we're going to talk about Facebook ads. I want to really focus in on Facebook ads because this is something every congregation can do, and they can do it effectively. What you see on the screen here is an example of an ad that we ran at the Green Oaks congregation in Arlington, Texas. And I'll just let it kind of play. But you can see that this ad appears as someone scrolling through their Facebook feed. They're holding their phone like this, and they scroll along, and then they see me talking to them. They see a short video that captures their attention and that calls them to do something about it. And these are the 3 components of an effective Facebook ad. It has a hook, it expounds on that hook, and it has a call to action. We will talk more in detail about specifically how to hook people and what you might run as an ad. But the important thing to note is that these ads are extremely short videos, often no more than 10 seconds long. But you know what's amazing? When you do it right, that's all it takes to get somebody interested. I love Facebook ads for several reasons. First of all, they're extremely cost effective. At Green Oaks, we spent $350 to run this ad right here for 10 days within about a 10-mile radius of the church building. And we got 33 messages to our Facebook page as a result. We set the goal of the ad to have people message us directly, and that's extremely important. Because what this does is this gets your ad shown to people who are likely to contact you. That's what we want to find, right? We want to find people who will engage with the message of the ad. And when we did this correctly, we ended up spending about $10 a person to talk to somebody who was interested in us. They messaged us first with a request. They said, I need prayer, or I'm out on the street and I need help, or I want someone to come visit me. And we were able to answer the call. You'll notice that only 5,000 or so people saw this ad. But that's not what was important. We weren't going for the largest amount of views. We want the highest engagement. I'm going to say that again. You want high engagement. You want people who are likely to respond to the ad. And there are ways that you can make your ad engaging to invite the right people to make contact. We had an incredible result from this. Like I said, I talked to 33 people individually through Facebook Messenger. I had a conversation, or I prayed for them. Some of them I went and visited them in person. And after 10 days of running this ad, we had 6 people come to our gospel meeting. 5 of the 6 came at least twice during the week. And to this date, 2 of them are still worshiping with our congregation. And they, over the course of time, have brought 3 more friends with them. This works. And it's something that every congregation can do. But let me tell you, we could go into all sorts of details about how to make these look, putting in subtitles. Here's what it comes down to. You need to have a script that is engaging. Let me give you some examples of scripts here that we have written that are good ad scripts. They're very short. Listen to this one. Are you feeling alone? Like no one has your back? The answer to your sorrow is found in the family of God. Join us this Sunday and discover the belonging you've been searching for. How about this one? Are you tired of mega churches? Like it's all about them and you're just another body filling the seats? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Join us this Sunday and see that it's not about the crowd, it's about the people. Here's one more for you. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Most religious people don't practice what they preach. And if Jesus were here, he'd be calling them out. If you're as frustrated as we are, join us this Sunday and let's be something different. Now you notice the 3 elements of a good ad script in those. There's a hook. There's something that grabs your attention, something that speaks to a need, a relevant need that people have. People are feeling alone. Someone's out there all alone just scrolling through Facebook, and now someone's talking to them about that. Or someone who is tired of mega churches. They've seen that they don't work, and they're looking for something different, and they don't know where to find it. Or people who are skeptical of religion because they've been hurt by hypocritical Christians. Notice how each ad speaks to a specific audience. That's extremely important. The ad, you want to ask this question every time. Who is your audience? Chris hates me because I ask every single time, who is our audience here? If you try to speak to too many people at once, no one will engage. Keep it very direct. Find something to hook people's attention. Speak to a need they have. Second, we expound on that need. We say the same thing in different words, but in a way that people can understand. Are you tired of mega churches? You feel like you're just filling the seats and you're padding their numbers. That's how some people feel. That's what people who are coming to Green Oaks, who have obeyed the gospel, have told me about their own experience. So we know it's a relevant need for people. And then we close, finally, with a call to action. A strong call to action. Come to church this Sunday. You would be amazed how likely someone is to show up to church. If you say, come to church this Sunday, and just get straight to it, Come to church and you're going to find what you need. It works. But it takes effort. It took about between 4 and 6 man-hours for us to sit and to brainstorm just these 3 scripts and to hone them in. And you notice, there is no room for extra words. Every single word in that script had to fight for its right to be there. It's like Charles Spurgeon said. He said of street preaching, the chain of thought must be taken to pieces and each link melted down and turned into bullets. Come to the point at once and come there with all your might. He recognized that when you're preaching out on the street or maybe in the digital realm, there is no time to be wordy. Get to the point. Come there strongly. Speak to a need, and you will have people's attention. This is a place we've struggled with when it comes to our online content. We haven't spoken in terms that people can understand. Who's your audience? If you use a lot of religious terminology, that is going to affect who's listening and who's responding to your ad. Sometimes we need to speak in terms people understand, and that's not changing the gospel. Remember, Paul didn't preach the same sermons in the Jewish synagogue that he preached in the Greek Areopagus. He changed the direction of his attack based on his audience and what they would understand. And we need to do the same thing when it comes to our social media content. I encourage you, and I would love to assist you with making Facebook ads, because when it's done right, any congregation can do this. They can do it cost effectively. But let me tell you, you better have people who are ready to respond. If people are messaging your page, you need to be responding within 15 minutes. If people are commenting about the video, you need to respond right on the dot. And when you do that, they are amazed to find there's someone on the other end who cares about me. One of the most amazing features I found in the Facebook Messenger app is you can record a 60-second audio message to send to people. And so when people would message with a prayer request, I would stop right there, say, this is who I am from this congregation, and I wanted to pray for you right now. Let's pray. And I would pray a little prayer, and then at the end I would say, can you come to church this Sunday? You'd be amazed how many people were affected by that. They said, you actually prayed for me. I didn't think you would. But I did. This is a great outreach tool. Let's talk a little bit about YouTube. Now I want to tell you a little bit about this YouTube channel called Faith Uncovered, which is a project that Chris Jones and Aaron Newman and I have been working on together. We had one goal with this YouTube channel, which was to create videos that fit the medium. It's just like these Facebook ads. With the Facebook ads, you've got to be direct and come to the point and capture people's attention. It's got to be something that they're expecting to see as they scroll through their Facebook feed. They see pictures, they see short videos all the time, so it needs to fit that mold. The same is true with YouTube videos. If you go on YouTube, you don't find videos of lectures. You find people sitting in their office, sitting in their living room, maybe sitting out in a field somewhere in front of a camera, just talking one-on-one. We thought we want to create some Bible study content that looks like that, and we were very amazed by the result. I want to emphasize here, we were working with the equipment we had, and we were learning on the fly. And if you go watch some of our videos, you'll see some of them are not great. Some of them look pretty amateurish. We've learned. But you know, it's amazing. Despite all that, in all this time, our channel has gotten 157,000 lifetime views. Now that was in 2 months of making content from September and October. And then since October of last year, we have done nothing. We have posted nothing. And this number has continued to tick up. At the Preacher Study in Grapevine at the end of December, we had 119,000 views. Now we have 157,000. It's pretty amazing. Our most viewed video has 82,000 views. 2.7 thousand viewing hours over the course of the channel. That top video has 1,131 comments. The three of us are overwhelmed. We cannot respond to every comment as fast as they're coming in. This was after 2 months. And since October, we haven't done anything. It's working because these videos fit what people are expecting to see. They're not sermons. They're just us sitting and talking about the Bible with some graphics, some visuals. And we've accomplished this result. Pretty amazing. Why aren't we utilizing this? YouTube is free. You can post there for free. Granted, you'll want to buy, a nice camera. You'll want to have something that records nice audio, but it's a very small investment for the payoff. And it's amazing. Now, let me talk about Q&A live streams as well. This is something we tried one time at my congregation at Green Oaks. I got Brother Joe Norton here with me, and we sat down on camera and we answered people's Bible questions live. It's kind of like the new version of Ronnie Wade's column in the OPA, right? Where he answered Bible questions. Or maybe when Richard Bunner would have a radio program and take people's questions live. You can do that today. You can do it through Facebook. It was so easy. We just used our Facebook page, set up a camera, hit the record button, and we began to answer people's questions about the Bible. And we didn't do everything perfect. We had a lot of technical difficulties, but we had people from the community engaging and asking, when are you going to do the next one? And they were sending in questions. Can you answer this one? Can you answer that one? And so we're going to be trying this again in the future. Anybody could do this. All it takes is a camera, a phone, and a Facebook page, and a knowledge of the Bible, and a heart to serve by making this kind of content. Why aren't we investing in this? Why aren't we investing the time and the money and the energy to learn how to do this right? I understand we've tried this before, right? What I see is we've tried a lot of the same thing before, and it hasn't worked. It's like if you try to take a radio program and air it on TV, people would be asking, where's the video? It doesn't matter how engaging the radio program is. When you're watching TV, you're expecting to see video. It's the same thing with social media. When people log on to YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or any of these platforms, there is a type of content that fits that mold. And if your content breaks it, nobody's watching. Because it feels strange. It'd be like maybe walking into a movie theater and watching a silent film. We're just not used to it. It doesn't fit the mold we're used to. It's time to try something different. They say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and failing and hoping that something turns out different. Now's the time to try something different. And I'm so glad. And I want you to know there are people who want to do something different. People have the knowledge to make this kind of content that will appeal and reach the people of this world we're living in. It's the young people who are sitting in the pews of your church building. We need to get on this. You know, if Paul was alive when the printing press was invented, you can bet he would be printing Bibles day and night. He would be excited. I don't have to handwrite things anymore. I can print it and I can reach thousands of more people than I ever have before. That's what we're talking about. This is the next new revolution since the printing press. It's social media. Paul would be amazed to know he could sit in front of a camera and click a button and reach millions of people around the world. Why aren't we investing in this? Why aren't we taking the time to learn how to do it? It's worth it. The numbers don't lie. If we can focus on making content that's good and strong and biblical, and that communicates things in terms that this world can understand, we're going to have so many new converts we won't know what to do with ourselves. And that's exciting to me. But let me tell you, if our congregations refuse to change their methods, either because we're scared or we don't just understand it, we don't feel like we have the time to learn, and we miss out on this revolution, we're going to be left in the dust. So let me ask you, is it worth spending this money to save a soul? Thank you.